Okay, we're going to quickly go through how this code works. So we're starting at NiFi. NiFi, I have in here custom text. That is all the airports that I wanted to focus on. These are like the top 25, 26 airports there. So I'll start that, run that, have that on a schedule, but for just testing, I'm just going to run it once. We split that apart, grab out the airport part, and like I mentioned in the article, I'm doing some departure airports and arrival. Those are two different APIs, just to give us a variety of data. And I thought, why not? I don't need to focus on just one airport or just departures or just arrivals. We'll have a couple of those come through. And I was thinking of a filter here. I don't have one yet. We'll figure that out. Going to add a timestamp. Going to calculate a new unique ID there. Trim the call sign because it tends to have some extra blank spaces behind that. Who wants that? I also decided after I do the split record, which I'm doing so the demo trickles through, that I'm going to extract the plane identifier out and use that to call the flight's aircraft API so that we can get additional information. This gives me information tracking one particular flight. And we add the field, since they're exact same format, exact same stuff as those other two calls, I'm just going to add that right to the Kafka topic. No big deal there. The difference is now we've got a lot of data. Thinking of a lookup, maybe a look up additional aircraft data from a database, which I'm looking for where I could source that from. For now, I'm pulling out all the fields that I want for the aircraft. And inside this Slack code, I'm formatting it. I also decided to put a link to FlightAware, which has details on the call signs. So we'll get a couple of records going there. I don't want to send too many, otherwise Slack gets mad. But if you see here, here is my notification I sent. And we've got the timestamp, unique ID, the identifier, call sign, and also a link to FlightAware, which is an awesome site. And I push my antenna data there, so it's pretty cool. But it gives you an idea what's going on with that plane, what happened to it before. Really cool stuff there. So we'll just keep getting those. I also have a little dashboard that is in jQuery and data tables. I sent that to you before. And that's giving me the information there on different airports. And this is a lot of data. So it's going to take a while before you get some nice ones that you like. So, but how do I fill out this? It's not reading Kafka. I mean, you probably could, because you can read Kafka anywhere. But instead of that, it makes more sense to read a REST endpoint like this one here, which is a REST endpoint of JSON. How did we get that? Well, inside a SQL Stream Builder, I set that up. I could have set up a virtual table for that, so I did. That way I don't have to put a schema in some schema registry. I'll just have SQL Stream Builder grab that for me based on what the data looks like, add an event time, and a couple of properties. And now I have a table here. Pretty easy. If I go to my live query here, you can see it's still running because I've got that demo trickle thing I mentioned here, so that it's sending one flow file a second, which could be multiple records though. You could have as many in one flow file as makes sense. And we're also getting it from the other side where I've got it trickling through, calling all these additional planes. So there's a lot of data coming through. Let's make this bigger. And we could see, we're starting to get some arrival airports. So once we get them all into our system, we'll be able to see them in our dashboard. But as you see here, they're coming through. And we can start doing a lot of information with this. Let's make sure it's in Kafka. That's in this Open Sky airport. You can see we've got over 8 megs in there. And we've got 18,000 records. So we're starting to get a lot of records in here. Let's just look at a random one. Okay, so they're coming through. Are we starting to get some? Yeah, this one has an estimated arrival airport. Oh, interesting airport. I don't know which one that one is. But it's getting a bunch of data. We see that showing up here because we have this continuing to trickle there. As you see how quickly that builds up when you're looking at a whole bunch of airports. Each airport's giving me thousands of records. So, you run this continuously. You may need a pretty big server to handle all this REST data. Like I said, I've got 38,000 here. I'm trickling them through once a second, just so I'm not putting in ridiculous amount of information. So that's coming through the system, coming into Kafka, coming into our query. We can take a quick look in Flink, see how that cluster's going. And this one's really simple. We're just doing a select star. But as you see, we could do a join. We could start doing aggregates, windows. We'll start thinking of ones that are cool, maybe tracking particular aircraft, whatever. We could start taking a look, see if we got any new ones here. We could do a full refresh if we want. Yeah, so you can start seeing some arrival airports as we're getting some of that arrival data in, not just looking at departures. We can see the different airports, like Dallas is a big one. Yeah, I was starting off with just Newark, which is near me, but there's a ton of them in the U.S., a ton of different planes. Lots of stuff to track real time. Hope this was useful. Thanks a lot.